dry.
What happened?
Trish, move. You see that, it broke. You get it on camera?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll get it.
How many?
3 sardines. Let's see it right now.
Sardines.
Okay, keep it on her.
Yeah, the biggest one was this big and the smallest one was
Keep it on her.
it was almost as big as the hook. Feels good.
I'm soaked. That's there.
Why do you want that?
Who are you seeing?
Can I do it? I'm going to try it. No. Why? You guys don't get to try it because you guys want something.
Let's see where I'm going.
Hey, Michaela, just sit down. Just sit. Now call over with Nellie. Hey, give it to Pat. Give it to Pat. Hey. Michaela.
You're going to break the branches off.
Hey, go get Daddy.
Get Daddy.
You ready?
Okay, now I'm taking possession of all this work, guys.
Get him.
Are you finished?
Oh my God.
Somebody go get her.
Somebody is. He dropped that right on.
Why you're not wearing your seatbelt? You better not grab it again.
Where's my gun?
He dropped that here right in the shore, didn't break.
I can't even find him in the tree. Everything's black and white. I can't find him.
I can't believe he fell. I can't believe he fell for that hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, you missed.
Take the sticks out on you.
I'm waiting for him to drool on me.
You better watch. You might get his squirt pistol out.
Ground.
You look like a monkey climbing up there.
Hey, you know what's more fun, Bob? It's pine trees. You go from treetop to treetop.
Mary's pictures. Cough like you too.
Okay, now we're going to go out. Today is Friday, August the 3rd, something like that. And we have to have a septic tank cleaned out. And Scott and John and Dad are out here cleaning out the septic tank. And just in case the thing breaks through and Scott falls into the septic, I want to make sure I get it on video.
You go put that thing away.
And that way I can prove to Mom Dad was out here working instead of resting.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
That should come faster.
Shelby, step back. You don't want to go in the sewage.
There should be a release on there.
Hi, Mommy. Hi, Mommy.
Now we ice straight over it.
Now you're tilted.
Wait a minute. Step back for a second.
Okay.
Here's what we're looking at right here.
It's gonna pop if it goes because it's tight right now.
That's John. You can tell he works for the state. If it doesn't work, hit it with a hammer.
Okay. I can't believe it ain't coming off.
What happens when an immovable force hits an immovable object?
Pops up and gets crap all over you.
Yeah, it's gonna pop if it goes.
It's almost lunchtime. Maybe I'll pop in time for lunch.
What time is it?
11:40.
I don't like this.
Ain't working either, is it?
I don't want to go any tighter.
I know, let's bring Uncle Bill down with his backhoe and let him jerk that
Oh, man,
sucker
what
out
to
of there.
do? I don't see how.
Well, why don't we go in and think about it in the air conditioning over lunch and come back out and try after lunch?
That'll work
Put the
perfect,
pressure
yeah.
on it.
That'll work perfect if.
Put some pressure on it and let it sit for a little while.
No! No way, Jose.
I'd get back. This is
I'm afraid that's gonna break. That's something I'm afraid of.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, leave it.
Oh, what is wet on my leg?
Leave it. Leave it loose. That way, if dirt
No,
falls
just
in.
leave it like it is.
Yay! Let's hear it! Yay!
Marcy,
Scott,
go calling.
you have a history for.
Oh, go call.
You have a future in poop, Scott. Congratulations. Here, John, take a bow. Oh, thank you very much.
See what we can do.
Well, let's go have lunch.
Just lift this up.
Call that guy.
Out of the heat.
Yep.
He shows up.
Yeah. Just leave it the way it is.
Yeah, John, Scott, he might offer you a job when he sees that rig in there, buddy.
Shelby, look. I got it. Look over there.
Let's see. There you go, right there.
That thing is full.
Isn't that exciting? Oh, maybe when we take the lid off of it, I could get a real good picture. Mary would like that.
Shelby, look. Look over there. Look. Look who's on.
191 times.
What are you doing?
Ow!
Ooh, look, queers.
Or nothing.
Here's Jay, he does best.
I think so.
He's the kind of guy that can really get
I
hot.
don't know what kind it is.
He's not going
Here's
to go
Dad,
find
he's happy to be here.
that bad.
Justin, shame on you, and I have it on videotape too. Have you ever heard of your elderly abuse?
It's child abuse.
Aunt Belsie, St. Jules, Mom, Aunt Kay, Mary Kay, Grandma Wilkinson, there's Aunt Jane. Everybody turn and wave.
Everybody wait.
What am I doing? Okay, here we go. Up there's Aunt Jewel. She's
Jill
so
has
excited
no
to be
potty.
here.
She's got her hand in the air. And I leave. Is this year? Yeah. This is where I started.
Aunt Kay and Mary Kay.
Indiana.
There's Grandma.
Street 36.
I have to be careful here. I'm going to end up falling over the...
Check camping.
There you go.
Well, Cheryl and John has a camper and we slept in it most of the time and we were
Aunt Jane, smile and wave, like you do on those old videos. Oh, but you look so much better today than you do on those old-fashioned ones, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Hello. It's fine. It's still running.
Well, I'm trying to figure out which way is forward and which way is back. Okay.
Well, back it up. Long way. Okay, not you, just the camera, baby.
There we go. Okay. Let's see.
There. She's getting around the corner.
Who?
Here, I'll hold her.
Helen, turn and give us a profile.
You can match Mary
Wait
that
a minute,
way.
let's see your outfit.
And a candidate of one ball.
You guys can pick on these big boys, they'll hurt you.
We can sit on these. Yeah. Say South Dakota. I think that's where they have.
There's Uncle Lovell and
Either Idaho
John.
or South Dakota. They have their.
There's the back of Dad's
Brett
head.
goes
Oh, he's
out.
getting kind of thin, isn't he? See, there's Uncle Charles. There's Ruth Ann and Randy. Ooh, baby, this is kind of tough to do. Okay.
This is kind of tough to do.
There you go. There's Ruth Ann and Randy. Oh, they're having such fun.
Are you identifying everybody for Mary?
Huh? No, this is for when we get old and we can't remember who was who. Why they were here. Bobby.
Oh my God, I was really that fat.
There's Richard.
Scott's hiding space again.
There goes the
There's
film.
Scott.
Oh no, there was the
There's
camera.
Cheryl. There's Nancy. She said, Martha, will you please run and get the video camera out?
No, I didn't. Where's that?
I told her last night we were bringing the video camera. She goes, I don't think so. There's Annie. Oh, look at them legs. She already did. If I was you, I would stand up and shake my butt and show everybody how much weight I lost.
Smile with your glasses
There.
on and take them off and smile.
There's John, drinking again.
There you are.
Uncle Lovell, the world traveler. Oh, wait a minute.
Get that part over there.
Oh, okay.
Don't you hate it when people stick them things?
Is that your VCR?
Let's see. Oh, there's Dad.
No, it's
Turn red part.
Say what fun you're having.
Just Martha.
video camera.
Oh no!
Woo.
I decided why.
There's Mandy. There's Brittany.
Food ready?
I'm gonna trade. I'm
Yeah,
Picture taken, B.
gonna sell that and buy me a.
What are you videotaping this for?
For us.
Why?
She's not. Uh-oh. I hope she plugged that other battery in.
That went all the way down my pants.
Oh my Lord!
Like that. Yeah.
You wonder where that's at, right there. That's what Martha done.
You think it's time to eat?
It still is. It's right behind him.
In fact, the bottom of my pants are all wet from it. And that apple salad in that yellow bowl.
Mom will come down here and help
Hey,
Zach.
Justin. Catch. Justin.
Close your eyes, Dad.
Thank you. There's napkins down on the other end.
Above me because he was looking for earrings.
What do you want to eat?
My plate.
Hamburger or hot dog?
Hey, Justin.
I can throw it into the garbage can down there. You want to stand up on that cooler so you can get it? Ready?
Alright, show me where you want to sit, Zachary.
Ellen, because it's so seldom we get to see you. The next time you'll probably be so old you'll be white, gray-headed. Like me. I mean, we'll be going, you still look good, you know. That's what happens.
See you later.
Glad you guys come.
Stay. See you guys.
Good luck, Jim. I got that wrinkle.
You know what? My bean salad.
Ellen. Well, she wants to get good pictures of here because we don't.
I thought she was Betty's granddaughter.
I know. She was telling me. You said you knew who she was.
Yeah, I said, I know who she is. And then I said, Betty's granddaughter.
I've got gray hair, Jill, but I'm telling you. That's how I know, but she said your granddaughter.
I thought that was her granddaughter. Her daughter and
Which
her
one of my
granddaughter.
daughters does she belong to?
I'm still trying to figure out who I thought she was.
I didn't know.
Oh, probably some movie star.
No, somebody. It must be one of your sisters that she looks a lot like when they were young. She looks like
Oh my God! Beach me, that's been so long ago.
Which I don't remember any of your sisters ever being quite that big. I expect they were.
Almost that good. I like her hair.
I like it
I was
too.
a little tall.
I think that's what makes it look different when her hair's short.
They're all
Mary Kay, you're on the wrong side of the table. No, she knows exactly what she's looking at.
Yes, Debbie.
Phone's ringing.
You like macaroni and cheese? That wouldn't surprise me. What else would you like?
You smell? You smell? You happy, baby, now?
That would do it.
Third from the bottom line today.
Our deal doesn't it's building something like Salem Park.
God, we need something like maybe a breeze. I don't know if he'll be here or not.
Mommy, where do I sit?
Very little.
I couldn't wait for you girls. I just went right ahead. It's all right.
Right there.
There, go back left. Already come this way.
It's over here.
Lordy, Lordy, look who's calling.
Lordy, Lordy, this is Debbie.
Hey, ugly kid. Ugly kid. That kid wants to sit by you. We'll have to wait for him.
Hi, Shorty.
Yeah, let's wake him up.
Oh, I know you. Deep.
I'm tired of hearing and I'm not even as old as you.
I did it for several years.
Did you really?
Now I'll never catch up with you.
Oh, did it?
There are more.
Now you bring that out. I took my tray away.
Well, just get your tray out. You need potholders for the dessert. No.
Chocolate pie. She acts like she knows apple pie, cheesecake, and monkey bread up here if you guys want any of it. Also some Twinkies and some cupcakes. Marcia didn't answer the phone.
I done had
They're on because I hollered at her. You should say, tell her, say. Somebody what, you, honey? I know, well. Oh, and she's never been blackberry dumplings.
I said them blackberry dumplings better not be on.
Sorry, and blackberry dumplings. Can't have any.
Oh, look at this, Mommy.
I brought your pie back. Exactly. Where's your mom and dad?
Well, I'm on the street, Aaron.
They work till 5:30, so I doubt they're coming in. They got a thing for a 25th wedding. Oh, that's right.
How you feeling it?
This is a high view from the window. As you can see, there's gobs of people here.
I got a card down.
Feel good, huh?
Some of them won't turn so you can look and see who they are, but ooh, Richard's head shining. Ooh, Richard's head shining until it's reflected in the big camera. The one back there with your dad is Jim Woodrum. The white-headed man in the at the table is Richard Funk, across from Jay. And Jill's sitting next to him, and Aunt Elsie's across the table, and that's Margaret with the sunglasses on behind me.
Bring the wedding pictures.
Hey, you. Hey, you.
There's the newlywed that just showed up. There's Ruth Ann still feeding her face.
Good stuff. You need to try the Twinkies that Martha made.
Boy, that's all that's left at the table.
She said she was going to make holes. She ran out of time.
And there's Marcia. Hello, Marcia. Hey, Marcia. Do not look in this way.
You can stick it up his nose.
Some of the others must be around front. That's a general view of our backyard full of people.
if you want, but there's hamburgers are there. Lindsay?
Out in front.
This is the guy thing.
Ooh boy, Bob's head's shining almost as bad as Richard's. Ah, Denny Mark. Marsha. Oh.
And they sell them.
There you go. Let's make one, man.
Marsha's side.
I'll get it out, because that's not getting rid of your
We spent all last fall going to them. We're going to go again this fall. We'll be ready.
You may have to have something for physical therapy, you know.
That's for Mary, Danny.
For Mary Ann.
Reading everybody's misspelled words.
Yeah.
Not bad anyway. Grossly underpaid. I had to go 9 years.
Jeremy.
We haven't had a pay rise in fire company except for
When he starts crying, you give him to his mom. Hungry?
I'm paid. Uh-oh. Oh, I can't see.
Here we go.
Jump track, huh? Well, we'll have to get a picture. That's a what?
Later.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118
out, yell at them so they'll be sure and look at me. If you see Kelsey and Shelby and I don't, be sure and yell at them so they'll see me.
Be on the float if they've got one. Well, don't that look like an ambitious bunch? Don't that look like an ambitious bunch? But they're mostly older guys. I wonder where their young men are. Yeah, walking. Kelsey's in an orange t-shirt. Here's Jay. There they are. Kels, Shelby!
Kelsey, I got you a bunch of candy. She threw that. Aw.
They're really moving far out in the street now, aren't they? Well, it's getting hard to tell from the crowd from the walkers. Oh, they're really a young bunch. Look at all the baby strollers. Yeah, I saw that. Watch the horses, kids. Peggy, wait a minute. Peggy, wait. Wait.
Take them to old King Cole business. So,
That's probably why he went out so soon.
Well, he'll be there.
yeah. She just wonders something happened to him.
Oh, yeah.
And there's my mowing boy out now. Come over there and sing my mother, which she enjoyed. But I don't know, your mother got huffy about something. We never did know what it was. But anyhow, she had passed by the road going to Rowdy's, you know, in that two-story house there, and never looked toward the house. But I don't know what was the matter with her, and my mother didn't know. But when them girls would come over there to sing, wouldn't much more than get in the house till your mother'd holler for him. Mary Nana Patty Coola. And my mother said, you must be stepping on a plank or something, and let her know that you're gone when you come out. Because they wouldn't get in the house hardly till she'd call them, and they'd go home.
She was odd that way.
I don't never know. I never did have any word with your mother. I know you're talking about Milo and what's her name. Well, I think maybe I shouldn't say this. Your dad did separate her and what was that woman's name?
Careful, you're on camera.
Who you mean?
Oh, Clint Thomas.
Oh,
Her and
Sally.
Sally.
Sally Thomas. Oh, she hated Sally Thomas' guts. And
Well, why?
I don't know. She hated Maud Willis. I think
I think she always thought that Maud Willis was making goo-goo eyes at Dad.
Well, we was always good friends. And
Well, see, Mom didn't like Edith Lyons. And Edith really didn't like her. Because after Dad died, if you remember, George Lyne dug Dad's grave by hand. And George, after a while he'd come by after he got through working for the day. We're talking about 4 or 5 days after Dad died. And he'd come by there and stop and visit Mom. Well, when he got home, Edith said, well, how come you're running late? Well, I stopped and talked to Margaret Pritchett. And then he'd do that quite often. And she got mad at Mom. She wouldn't even speak to Mom.
well, I don't know what makes women like that.
Well,
Insecurity.
my mother, for some reason or other,
She wasn't out nobody else.
things bothered her more than other people.
Now there was
Some of them on the lawn.
Oh,
Orville Vineyard. He'd come over to my place and work on the lawnmower. And him and Charlie was good friends, and he would talk to me. Well, one time I went over to Violet's to get Orville to come and see about my lawnmower, and Violet said, I don't know if he's told you or not, but he says, I'm telling you that he's not able to work like that. That could have been she was jealous of Orville. Well, we had talked
well, she was a nice looking lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember her 2 daughters. One was killed there.
And Orville did too. But I don't know. I just enjoyed talking to somebody that knew Charlie, and we all about it, and they were good friends. And Eric Gruber used to come by and sit and talk with me, and I'll go see Eric now whenever I'm down there. Well, the last time or 2 I haven't been, but I should. He lives out there in the country by himself, and his dad and mother's gone, and his brother and sister's gone, and his wife's gone, and some of the littles, the folks.
Well, was Helen his sister, or was it his niece?
Helen was Sophie's
Daughter.
first man's girl.
Okay.
Her name was Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson, yeah.
But they always call her Helen Gruber.
But Sophia was
Sophie was Eric's sister.
Yeah, okay.
And then
It still make...
and then Sophie married a butler. And then her last man, her name Lopsgatus. And
Sloppy Loppy.
no, I can't remember much about it. And I thought it was Thuba that was sick one time. And I wouldn't have given a nickel for her life. But some said it was Patty or some Mary, or some of them said it was Patty, but I don't think so. I think it was Thuba. And she was laying out in the crib out in the yard. Well, I didn't figure she'd ever live.
It was Mary. Because I remember they put her on goat's milk.
I don't know.
Shorty Earhart had the goats, and they...
It was Thuba, though, wasn't it?
Mary.
Has to be clever.
It wasn't Mary,
Okay.
because Mary looked like a little angel. She was pretty. She's the best looking.
Mary's not going to see this.
Well, now she did.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Mary was real sick
Mary's
when she was born.
Mary's was pretty, but...
Well, she liked my Patty. My Patty, when she was little, some said she didn't look human. She looked more like a dog. But she's changed.
Yeah.
Well, changed, don't we?
A little bit bigger than a doll.
But Mary was real sick when she was little too.
Yeah.
Because I remember Miss Pritchett telling us about having Terry meetings and praying for her.
Well, the doctor,
Because the doctor really didn't know what to do with her.
I think it's Dr. Lamont. He
Well,
recommended her
Mary
goat's milk.
might not have been a living there at that time. I don't know, but I think it was Suva. I think it was the youngest girl. But I could be mistaken. Because why I
Was
think...
that during the war?
Mm-mm. You lived back of us at that time.
Well, let's see.
On down there by school, Georgia School? It'd have to be Mary.
There's only
that's
5
where it
years
was at.
difference between Mary and Thuba.
And when we lived there on the, see, we moved from the country to Oak Street, and from Oak Street over to where you lived. We lived across the back alley from you.
Well, you lived on the Washington Boulevard.
By Maud Willis.
No. That's Illinois Avenue. Washington Boulevard is where the Third Baptist Church is, and your greenhouse. And your dad was the one that was telling us, we lived in Patsy House,
Okay.
about Lomar's having to be put out on account he went progressive.
Yeah.
And your dad was telling us that we might get that house. Of course, Charlie worked for the mine company. And we let you boys look after the house so nobody wouldn't get in there and tear it up. And you was a ripping and a running and having a big time. And Miss Fisk lived down towards where Zelenski's lived. First house that's away from Zelenski's.
Yeah, okay.
She told Miss Lomar, said, I hope somebody don't move in there with a lot of boys. Usually just having a big time, you know, looking after the house and playing and ripping and running.
Now they had a daughter.
Hmm?
The people lived right next, between Zelenski's and Swetler. Didn't they have a daughter that went to school with Pat and I? No.
No, they had a daughter, but she wasn't married. She married a Durham. Lived on Main Street. Highfalutin kind of people. Now you're thinking, you don't, he was a preacher, Fisk was. Now there's other people live there. Now, what is that fellow that has rolled his head around like this, you know? And this crippled fella. Love some relation, not relation to him.
Rankin? Was her name Rankin?
That's Lovell's. That was
That's what she said, related to Lovell.
Oh.
I can't think of what her
I
name
think,
was. Anyhow, he'd go to hunting once in a while with Kenny. And he was hurting in an automobile accident, and he was crippled, and he'd throw his head back that way, you know, like he was going to fall off. And, oh, good grief. And his wife, after he died, Lena somebody.
Snyder?
No. Who was the Lovell's first wife? With Dolores' name?
Rankin.
Rankin. He would patronize Lena. He'd come down there. I didn't have much to do with Lena because she wasn't that kind. I mean, she was that kind. And one time, there was a fellow down there come out, and there was urinating on one of the trees, and I happened to be standing at the back door. He hollered, "Hey, bird brain!" Because Lena, well, I know Lovell would know her, but then I can't think.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
Lena Beaver. And her man's name was, what kind of beaver? You remember what his given name?
Eager Beaver? Rankin, I didn't, this is the first I ever heard. I kind of figured he was a man about town. And,
He was a womanizer.
yeah. And the way, what little I knew about his wife, sometimes I couldn't blame him.
And this old man Beaver, boy, he could go like a quail and bring 'em up to him.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Kenny used to be pretty chummy. And so, no, I don't know anything to tell you about the Pritchett boys or girls, either one,
All good kids.
ain't nothing I know to tell about you.
Well, that's why I say we're all good
Only
kids.
if you bothered anybody, it was among yourselves, not my neighbors. I never did know if you was having any trouble.
I'll tell you what,
There's no drinking or nothing, did
tell
you?
you what, if we bothered our neighbor's dad would kick our hind end.
Now what?
Dad would have kicked our hind end if we bothered people. If he could see it. But, you know, he didn't see all of it. I remember one time, I can't remember the old man's name, but he was a bachelor and he lived on the corner. I can't exactly remember where he lived on the
Harley
corner.
was Beaver's name.
Who?
Harley.
And the old man's talking about his outhouse. It was Halloween. And he told Dad, he says, well, I don't know, George, I don't think your kids should do it, but just in case, you tell them I'm going to be in that toilet with a shotgun. And, of course, we'd always get in the front, you know, shove it over backward. And he went in that toilet with that shotgun and sat in there waiting for us to come up, push that toilet over. We went to the back, got up right behind him, turned it over on the door. You ought to heard him cussing going on. And he came down there, the old man came down and talked to Dad. And he said, boy, George, they got me again. Dad says, what's the matter? He says, well, ordinarily the kids turn one over from the backwards, and these boys got behind them, turned it the other way. So Dad told us, he says, yeah, you're going down there and rebuild that toilet. But Dad, we didn't have nothing to do with it. He said, no, you may not have anything to do with it, but you would have been, if you could have got out, you'd have had something to do with it. We'd slip out the window. Everybody thought was in bed, and we'd slip out that window and go, oh.
Well, you wasn't home when your dad died, was you?
No.
Johnson City, or where was you?
I was Johnson City swimming when Dad died. And Lowell and Mary Solid came down and got me.
Did she?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know.
Me and Jack Harrigan was down there swimming.
Because I'd taken Pat and Sue home with me, and I didn't know the arrangements made. Well, we were sitting over there, your dad and mother sitting on the front porch and talking, you know, late that evening, and, well, you know all this, don't you? And your dad, it was turning cool, and everything that Charlie would say before this, or your dad, he had Sloan's liniment. So, your dad's feet was like mine, they were swollen pretty bad, and he didn't know it was turning cold what he was going to do, and Charlie told him to rub some Sloan's liniment on them. He said either grow hair on there, and your mother had an arm she wanted Charlie to fix. So we taken that arm and went home. And Charlie just put it on the table and opened it up. And Mary come running in, and she wanted Charlie to come over there right quick. The dad was dying or something to that effect. So he went over there, He'd laid down on the couch. And he had chewed tobacco in his mouth, and your mother said that she run her finger in there and got that tobacco out of his mouth. And Charlie helped her lift him over on the bed. Well, I tried to keep the kids over there, but Patty, she was nosy. She knew there was something going on, and she wouldn't stay. But Thuba went upstairs, or I took her up there and put her in bed, and she stayed pretty well. So, I didn't know who went after you. I knew you wasn't at home, but... And then I was over there, your mother and Mary. I don't know, maybe the other girls too come over to our place for Thanksgiving one time. And next morning, I think it was, and night, your mother called over and said Mary's water broke. And she called Doc Galula. Finally got a hold of him. He was always gone. Finally your mother told him what was up and her pains, how far apart they were. So then he was at home. All that time he was asleep, and she just said to his wife he wasn't at home. And then when Bill come in, and there was Thuba. I call her Thuba, they call her Susie, don't they? Bill was mad. Your mother said he was mad because we didn't let him know. Well, why? We couldn't have let him know. Didn't know where he was at work or nothing about it. When that baby's coming, it's coming.
Yeah.
I guess he finally got over it. Bill was always pretty good too.
Oh, he's good.
But he was kind of upset because when he come in there, the baby already there. Mary was supposed to come up and got some clothes and went back down to Kevel. Is that where that is?
Yeah, Kevel put that.
They were going down there, but she couldn't make it. And well, I don't know anything else to say, only just good kids.
Well, Art's, you remember when Patty Ann was so sick? Art's next oldest girl. Art Pritchett's oldest.
Patty Ann's the oldest.
Wanda, when she was so sick.
And no, I never did hear no trouble with boys.
Till time.
But they,
Okay.
I guess, like old boys, done little tricks that we didn't know anything about.
Oh, yeah.
Mine might have done the same thing, I don't know.
Probably.
Brittany would say.
You know, we was sitting around the kitchen table, and every one of the boys was at our house.
Mine or yours, David?
Betty, Mom's, all of us kids, the boys. And we sat around the kitchen table at my house and just had a conversation going on, you know. And Mom, of course, she's sitting over away from the table, and there was Fern and Rowdy and Lovell and Art and me, and had just a couple more there, but they weren't part of the family. And we started reminiscing about things that we done when we were kids. And every once in a while I look over at Mom, she goes, practically holding her breath. And after we got through, why, she said, here I thought I had good kids, and I didn't have, and I had to come up to Decatur to find out I had mean kids. And oh, she just went on like that.
No, I guess we all snuck around a little bit. Boys more so than girls, because I was raised by myself. And, of course, the kids in the neighborhood. But you know, Bill, a kid that wasn't raised on the farm don't know what fun is. Now, like here a while back, we had a eclipse of the sun. And at one time, I was told I didn't see it, but it got so dark that the chickens went to roost. And I was telling Kenny Dale, he says, what's that? Didn't know what chicken roost was. Did you?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And I was telling Andrew
That's where you go buy the
that
fried chicken, isn't it?
it's Linda's boy
You're thinking
the other
Cracker
day
Barrel.
here about, I said, do you know what a chicken roost is? He said, yeah. He said, my dad had a farm out in California and said he had horses and chickens. And he said, I like to go around and gather up the eggs. I said, you ever see a little chicken hatch? No. You know, a hen sets on the eggs about 3 weeks. And my Kenny, I'll call him Uncle Kenny, he was a babysitting for Kenny Dale. And Kenny Dale got an egg down and set on it and mashed it all over the place. Kenny said I could have killed him. I guess he thought he'd set on it like a chicken. He said I could have killed him. He had him all to clean up that egg all over him.
Yeah, I remember.
And we was talking about curds and whey, you know, little Miss Muffet. And I asked a barber's man, Tom Mercer, I said, do you know what whey is? And he didn't. Well, I don't know the name of it, but I said it's something that you heat the milk, clabbered milk, and it makes what we call cottage cheese. And there's a green kind of like a liquid that comes off of that. Now that's what they call whey.
Someone's front door.
Oh, that's my boy for the lawnmower. A jar, candy jar, half a gallon, you know. You know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you have to explain it to these kids. And I said it had cream in it, and I'd shake it like that. By the time I got back, I'd have butter. He wanted to know how I got the cream. I said on a cream separator.
I remember Mom dipping it out with a spoon.
Yeah, you
We
can,
used to do it that way too.
but not nowadays.
No, you don't. It's all chopped up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whenever they deliver milk, there'll be that much cream on top of it, except on your porch. And I told him about a cream separator. You pour it in a big bowl and turn the cream.
Mm-hmm.
Cream come out one spout and milk the other. And he never saw nothing like that. So, then I told him about my folks had a cow that just freshened, had a young calf, and they wanted the milk because they sold that cream, you know, for money. And I raised that calf on sucking my finger. Get a big bucket of milk and I put my finger in there and the calf would suck my finger, and as it just get milk, I just keep lowering it till it got to the bottom of the bucket. And finally that calf, whenever it would hear that cream separator, it would begin to bawl. Knew he was going to get some milk. And in the fall of the year, no, it was in the spring, these cows, they'll run in the pasture and they'll turn their tails over the back and they'll just run and bawl. At that time, I didn't know what was wrong with them. But I found out in later years, it was a fly. It stung their backs. And in the wintertime, when I'd be milking them, I'd feel around on their back and feel a little bump. And where there's a scab, I'd push that off, get behind that worm, and I'd press it. Boy, it'd pop like a rifle. Hit the wall, you know, where the milk's rolled off. The little fat worms would just push them out.
I remember Mom used to make cottage cheese, and she'd get that sour cream and hang it over a clothesline, and put a clean cloth and hang it over a clothesline and let that drip. And then after it got through dripping, you put a little cream and mix it up in there with a little salt, and you got cottage cheese.
My mother never made cottage cheese, but then I guess that's what you would call it. But she would heat it in the oven just a little bit. I told Andrew, I said, clabber milk.
Clabber milk.
He didn't know what clabber milk was, what it looked like.
Well, you heated this too.
And then she would take that out and put pepper on it and send me to the turkey pen to feed the little turkeys. And I'd walk slow.
Remember when the pure milk companies there in Frankfurt? I worked there before I went to service. And I used to make cottage cheese. They had this big vat. And they would pipe that, they'd have the homogenized milk. Mm-hmm. And then they'd have the pasteurized milk. And they would have skim milk. And they'd pump that all back there and in that vat. Well, they'd put heat to it and leave heat to it all night. Just a certain way. And then when you got there next morning, well, you'd have it all be just solid. And just take that big cutter, drag it through there like that. And that's when you cut it up. You cut it up and then put in cans, big milk cans, mm-hmm. and mix a little cream in that and salt. You kept it stirred too, Charlie.
Well, I tell you, take your finger and run it through that old cream, sweet cream, really tastes good.
I used to take that pint cream bottle. Your chocolate milk used to come in a half-pint bottle. And I'd take a pint. And I'd go back there and they had liquid chocolate. Like they have today, Hershey chocolate.
That's right, keep your hands off that.
And I'd mix that, take that cream, just drink a little bit of it, just enough to hold that chocolate. And then cap it and shake it up. And there was a place up above that I found this good place to hide stuff. And I'd put it up there. Next day it was all just about right, so then I'd drink it. Never did gain any weight.
Kind of like a Wallace woman who worked at Kroger's. She said come noon they have a sandwich and wanted a pickle. They'd open the pickle, get a pickle out and fill up a can full of water and seal it back up again. That's an Oscar Biggs. Oscar's been dead now for quite a while. You ever know him?
Who?
Oscar Biggs, run a Kroger store in West Frankfurt.
No.
Now tell some of your tales till we think up another one.
My tales are all simple.
He was a good little boy. He didn't do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
Never got in trouble, though, very often.
Well, I don't think I was ever actually in trouble.
Very
Never
often.
got caught.
I only got caught one time. Like I really remember.
Well, we did.
Every time I go upstairs to go to bed, somebody from my dad's bedroom would holler, "What time is it?" I'd say, "Plenty after 10. He finally realized with his sense of hearing that I wasn't saying 20 after 10, I was saying plenty after 10.
I used that excuse many a time.
And he shoved a clock in my face, and that was it. I couldn't use that one no more.
He had to say, "Boy, what time?" He never did call me Bill. He'd say, "Boy, what time is it?" I'd say, "Plenty after 10. He says, "Getting late, you better get to bed." But his dad was the type of person, you got in trouble. He'd get yourself out of trouble. Because I remember Vern and Jane went from West Frankfort to California, Van Nuys, California. And Dad tried to talk him out of it.
Stop hitting the table, you're shaking the camera.
Dad tried to talk him out of it. And he says, finally he says, that damn boy thinks streets of California are paved in gold. And finally he just throwed up his hand and says, if you want to go to California, go ahead. But he says, you get out there, don't call me to get you back. And they got out there and they couldn't find nothing. And I know for probably what happened, her sister and her husband were getting tired of taking care of them, so the only thing they could do is come back to West Frankfort. And they got involved with some guy stole the car, and they caught up with him at Jefferson City, Missouri. Caught up with this guy, and of course, Jane and Vern was in the car with him, and they took him to jail. And of course, after a while, well, they turned Vern and Jane loose, but didn't have no way to get home. And Mrs. Bohannon got a hold of Dad and says, "Are you gonna help those kids get home?" He says, "No, I'm not." She says, "You're not?" I said, "No. I tried to get them not to go." But hey, he says, "Hell, they know everything. Then maybe they figure out a way to get home." And then I remember Rowdy went down to, I don't know, a bank or a credit union or someplace and got the money and sent it to him.
Do you think kids was as mean back then as they are now?
No. No, I don't.
They play tricks, turn their toilets over and stuff like that.
It was something that...
But now they want to kill and rob and...
The morality's changing.
Yeah. Suck on a bottle of whiskey or beer and dope themselves up. And, there's still, I imagine, kids like us that enjoy getting out and having a good time like that. Like we did.
No, they want to kill people, even their own people. You read about a grandson killing her grandparents and her parents and this and that.
Well, there's none that went around over at Toledo. I think the trial's going to start here for long. Guy killed his grandpa and grandmother.
You know,
For their money.
There's a Ninth and Old Baptist Church here in town. They had a teacher that was a teaching there at the seminary at the church. He killed his wife. She sang in the choir. He killed his wife, cut her head off, and tried to lay it on to his 15-year-old son. I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's in custody now.
That was the last I heard on that one, yeah.
Well, it was one...
Ain't that a shame?